this should be good. This should, emphasis on should be good. Things should be working. And oh, Dan is in chat. Oh boy. Okay, praying for Samira to get absolutely butchered. That's my goal for today's stream. To see Samira just get... I don't even know what to say. I just wanted them to get rid of Samira. She's so good. She's too good. Just delete Samira, please. Please, pretty please. Pretty please. Also, I'm back to streaming. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's glorious Monday. And we're just watching this bad streams and we're playing Mage Seeker.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I've been adjusting the sound and chat is going crazy while I'm
Their event's reputation.
Okay, cool. Let's get right into the nerfs then.
Samira, 3 cost.
Yeah,
okay.
Speaking of unbuffs, we have Ashe going back to her ancestral homeland of Avarosta at quest at 5. Really, we were finding that Ashe just really needed that extra level up.
Yeah,
to
she was
compete
so
in the
easy
old environment.
to do it.
Now with rotation, we actually think that she's just leveling up way too fast. Being able to just kind of end the game with the crystal arrow really, really early, get the extra health early. So we just want to make sure that you can't necessarily get that Ashe online. And get her leveled up so fast.
As someone who played
Ashe
with LeBlanc, yes,
we
that's
also
actually
are
good.
changing Reckoning to 7. There were a lot of changes we could do. We actually considered other unbuffs,
Wait,
like
it's too
things
loud
to
now.
Avaros and Hearthguard that we felt were not necessarily going to hit the deck that much. Reckoning was really a card that, especially with the removal options now available in Standard, it's actually really hard to fizzle a Reckoning, and oftentimes you're kind of held hostage when you're forced to sort of play around it for multiple turns, waiting for them to tap out. It really felt like a situation where Reckoning was the card that was really pushing that deck to be super, super strong in the meta. So we push it up to 1 mana. It'll be a bit more transparent, a bit easier to play around, but it will still,
can see
in
it.
combination with the Frostbites and Trifarians, be able
Yeah,
to
that's
get a
good.
huge board wipe.
There's
That's
a lot
good.
of people,
That's good.
Doomsaying about Ashe disappearing now.
Oh yeah,
to, like,
lead already.
I feel like once there's the context of all of the buffs and nerfs, I think things will make a little bit more sense. But let's go ahead.
New monitor can finally see.
Frank, do you want to talk about the talk of the town? Samira's all out.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So
All
Samira
out is
definitely
+2/+1.
coming out swinging in Glory and Navori. Really versatile champ. Seen a lot of play, a lot of different places, a lot of different deck speeds.
That's a good. That's a
There were
nerf.
a lot
That
of
is a nerf
ways
and a half.
We tried and talked about approaching, like trying to tone her down a bit.
But don't tell me this is the only
The
nerf.
big one, just as an extremely cheap
Don't
and
tell me
versatile
this is the
spell
only
that
nerf. But that's a good nerf.
protect
That's
her
an
and make sure
impactful
other
one.
Champions are important, like combo pieces of the deck. So what we're gonna do to all out is just lower the health on the plunder bonus from 2 to 1. We're really hoping that this will let people playing against Samira have more opportunity to interact
Yeah,
with her, or move
now
forward,
she's
or just
so easily
a
killable.
little bit more reliably. Especially with a
Yeah.
Deeper champ spell, you get access as a Samira player, you get access to a ton of all outs in a game.
Yeah.
You can generate
You'll
some
always have 5
really
rollouts in
fun
hand.
Fury. So we're really looking at this as like a way to take some raw health and protection out of the deck.
Okay, that is good, but that's not the only one.
Yeah, usually I think that like Plunder, we like giving you a
You-
bonus
you
for Plunder,
can't.
right? But in specific situation with Samira, it's really easier than ever to get Plunder, especially with Samira's All Out, since that applies that you have a Plunder enabler in Flare already, which really was making Samira both so easy to protect, but also just good on defense. Like, all-outing my Samira, leveling her up. Now she has 5 health. That was just really, really too strong for a lot of decks to compete with.
Yeah, I mean, it's like also the tale is old as time. We've seen like Shapestone, Twin
Right.
Disciplines, Sharp Side, all these like cheap spells that both do protection and offense really well, and we gotta really.
So I'm sorry I'm being silent, but I'm really focusing on what they're saying now.
Chat is saying surely this isn't the only thing.
Yes,
that,
exactly. We need
is
more.
And that brings us to the next slide. Frank, do you want to?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sure. So yeah, it is
Oh.
surely not the only thing because it is definitely not. While it's probably maybe the best thing going on, it's not.
That's
the,
big.
Not the only. So we're looking to really hit the spell
That's
spam
big.
focus
That's big.
Because the way that Samira plays, and maybe something like the Leona Daybreak decks, is playing a much like fair game. It's trying to like level her up and get her rally in more.
Leona Samira is fair.
Whereas the spell
You heard it
decks
here,
are,
folks.
like,
It's
really
a fair
fun
deck.
to cheat it and do explosive things.
Wiggly getting nerfed by 2 man, like this doesn't matter much, but it actually slows him down a lot. Inferno going to 4 HP is so easy to kill now.
6 to 8, hoping to turn down or slow down the turn. You get the free burble, and we're just gonna take a single health off of Inferno because she's a really powerful.
Yeah, she's powerful at 5.
And
At 5 is just a
combining
lot.
this with all out, we're really just looking to take some health out of the deck, and if you're trying to challenge her or
Okay,
use damage-based removal,
you gotta have one more thing for Samira.
Yeah, this is an interesting change for Burblfish.
3 cost
I feel like
Samira.
Burblfish has reared its head many times
Oh, yeah.
in the history of lore.
3 cost Samira. Come on, you can't.
That damned smile.
I
You
feel like a lot of
can't
people are saying that it's murder,
look
but
at
I
me
feel like I'm still gonna
in the
get, like,
face
destroyed by, like, a Burblfish deck.
and be like, oh yeah, that's slow. No,
Oh
there's
yeah,
3 cost
definitely nerfed it
Samira.
in a
She's
way where,
coming.
like, dedicated spell decks are still gonna get 1 or 0 mana Burblefishes for sure.
Yeah.
It just might not happen on like round 5 with a rally.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
so-
slower.
Combined with the oh yeah. Anywho, let's get into the next change, Steve, because Samira Leona has been coming
Oh,
together
frick.
too.
Yeah, so this is kind of more
Oh,
similar to other
frick.
unbuffs. Is that first off, we're taking Leona's quest from 4 to 5, and we're taking Sun Guardian's health down 1. This is actually one of we looked
That's
back
big.
at this rework when we originally reworked Leona, I believe last year, as one of our more successful rework packages because Leona was basically never playable in any deck.
And now she's always
And
playable.
She came out and at the time was bad.
Now she's like meta.
Made the meta, but then ended up falling out eventually.
She has been meta for
Now,
3
with rotation,
seasons.
We actually see her being incredibly strong, just curving out with daybreaks. One thing that we've experienced is that Leona just comes down leveled up on 5 like so often, almost
Which is
it almost
good.
feels too free and unsatisfying in a way that
No,
we
don't
really love
don't say
where her
that.
design is at
Oh,
4
damn
because
it.
it just means she comes down leveled and there's not much to work for. Putting her quest up to 5.
Why would you work
just
for?
prevents that repeated
I
barrier
can't.
From happening as early,
I can't.
makes your defensive capabilities a lot worse.
Ruben, you are no fun.
Leona Daybreak
Ruben, why are you
started
doing
on
this to
two,
me?
about 1
This
round
deck
later, which means
took me to
both decks
Masters
can be
2
great
seasons.
equipped by other,
Why you gotta
strategies.
attack me
And
personally
Sun
like that,
Guardian-
Ruben?
Sun Guardian really is just such a snowball
I can't.
machine, especially now that we see removal is toned down and the format is a bit slower than we saw before.
That is
in
fair.
Standard rotation. We just want to make sure that players can't just completely overtake the game with a Sun Guardian on 3, followed by a few more Daybreaks. We're really optimistic that Daybreak can still be a.
Is it
viable
fair?
package
Yes. Am I
for
pissed
great
off?
and
Yes.
aggressive decks, but we're really taking some of the snowball potential out.
Man, they don't even. No, wait.
You go ahead, Brice. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say
I-
just wanted to strongly plus.
Ruben Zoo has liked my tweets multiple times. You can shut up. He's the lead designer in Legends of Runeterra. He liked my tweets multiple times. He knows me. We're best friends by now.
5 different iterations of like Sun Guardian stats to make sure we found a way.
I know famous people.
Still get to do its thing. So definitely not trying to just like kill Daybreak from the metagame with this one.
I feel like both of you.
I know
guys
famous
play
people.
the game at a very high level.
My boss is a word.
Trying to get to a higher level, but I feel like
Weird flex, but okay.
Type, especially for newer players, and when I wasn't like really familiar
Yeah.
with the game, to kind of get used to.
Weird
Leona.
flex, but
So
like, you know what?
I enjoyed Leona.
Whatever rows your boat,
It warms
buddy.
my heart because literally, like Daybreak is designed as a more newer player archetype.
Mhm.
Like the idea, like I just play my units on curve and they get a little bit better as I go, is like definitely Leona's original intent.
So there was a really interesting question in chat. It was actually about the earlier changes, but I want to ask you guys while it's still fresh. So some people were asking why did
Recall
you
Samira.
touch Shelly? Like what was the decision?
Oh yeah,
to
where's
touch
Shelly?
Fish in Inferno route, and did you guys consider Shelly as an option?
Of course they did.
We did consider Shelly.
Of course they did.
Generally, we find Shelly
Shelly's just
hard to play
waiting.
high synergy decks. One thing that we wanted to do is not necessarily kill Bilgewater's like spell.
If Samira Varus doesn't get
strength
okay,
too much. Like we have rotated some of that package, but we did want to make sure that Burblefish and Shelly
Ye-
can still be played in like Nami decks. and other stuff that we
I
can
have
do
words to
with
say to you,
Bilgewater
buddy,
and
but
the spell spam.
I can't say them on stream. I'll say them
Is kind of an outlier, though.
when
In
I
my
call
experience
you
playing
after
a lot of
stream.
games, it's almost it's really Shelly is
because
like
we both know what
dominating
happened when you stayed over
something
here,
else
right?
that is actually beating
You know why I can't take you
If
seriously?
they didn't have a bunch of zero mana Burble Fishes, like the Shelly wouldn't do anything, or if they didn't have a leveled Samira or Fizz, so it's really hard because I feel like Shelly, at least from my perspective, does a bit more of a like augmenting the deck, but isn't necessarily needed itself. But yeah, we do see that AoE health buff.
Shelly
strong with elusives, and it's something
didn't
that we're
get
trying to keep in mind. Obviously, with
nerfed.
the Inferna and the all-out buff,
Good.
we're making
Okay,
it harder
Shelly
to
is
stop
not
enemy
nerfed.
units in that deck. So,
Samira Varus is
against
still
Shelly,
on the
the way you
menu.
can beat Shelly is actually by killing the other units that aren't Shelly, right? And then the Shelly doesn't.
Because
beat
Samira
herself.
Varus got super
So
popular
that's
the
kinda why
last
we
couple
went
of
that way.
days.
But when we
They
do these changes,
might
we do a
have
lot of
not
different
seen
iterations.
it
Like, we considered changes to Shelly
when they were
I don't
making
know
the
how deep we
patch.
want to get into that today, but it was certainly something we thought about changing.
Cool. Thank you for the for the insight.
No problem. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Frank, you want to talk about?
Why did they not talk about you yet? They'll talk about me in a second. What are you talking about? I'm super famous in this thing.
Big mana strategies like that were struggling. We
Karma
gave
got...
Karma that extra health to like help her survive. Now that she has the like worse removal in standard, and Seth the coins came along to bolster up, we're taking that health back, and definitely like a small-ish nerf to Karma, but
not that significant.
More of an investment to put Karma
It's not
in play,
that
so
significant.
to put her in before 10 to really.
Because you always put her in 10. Like, you always play her on like 9, round end, or 10.
Might as well be a million a lot of the times. And you know, in the past, we used to see people play more protection spells for their Karma when she didn't have that.
Now I don't even need
Hoping
it.
that this change will either let the opponent actually be able to remove Karma sometimes before too much of a pop-off occurs, or
Hear me
the Karma
out.
player has
Win before they play Karma.
go back to playing protection.
Impossible, I know. It's just like a great idea.
That one's pretty self-explanatory. Do you have anything you want to add
Just
about
win
that?
before they Karma. 5 hit.
Let's move on. Steve, you want to talk about this?
Oh.
Caustic Rift, drum solo.
Yeah, so Caustic Rift is
Oh.
going up to 4 mana, but the flow reduction is going to go up. So essentially what this means is the base cost for Caustic Rift will be 4, but when you flow it, it'll still be 2, which is kind of the same cost as it is now. And the reason we're making this change was it was just a bit too easy for any Piltover and Zon deck to play Caustic Rifts in their deck.
Yeah.
And we actually saw a lot of decks that weren't
That's
really
good.
flow play with Caustic Rift.
It's
We've seen how
good.
powerful things like TF Red Card in the past can be, just that AoE damage at fast speed.
Piltover Zon getting a nerf.
Backbreaking. We just want to make
Alcarin
sure
is
if you
drinking
play
whale.
Caustic Rift
Alcarin is
and
just having a
flow
blast
it,
now.
you
Holy
probably
fuck.
are going to have to activate flow. The big thing about this is this makes it a little bit more telegraphed. Like, as somebody playing on ladder, you know, when your opponent has played 2 spells, you kind of know, oh, this is like maybe a Caustic Rift round. Versus when it's 4 mana, it can't be played, can't even be played on round 2 anymore, which really just makes it generically less of a good tool. But specifically when you're flowing, it's still quite powerful.
It's still good.
This card is
Drum
really
Solo
getting a
got
lot of
butchered.
power, but just that's going to require
By the way,
synergy
what?
to achieve that power. And then
What
Drum
you
Solo,
want?
this change is just kind of a long time coming. Actually, on the design team, we've been talking about this for months. I feel like even
Oh,
before rotation
Drum Solo got
happened.
butchered.
And
Look at what
that's
they
the
did to my
cost reduction on
boy.
Drum Solo to go down to 1 instead of 2. One of the big reasons we want to make this change is one.
Look
we
what
find
they
this
did
just
to
being
my
a little bit too
boy.
efficient when you're popping off, especially in the late game when it essentially just costs 1 mana. The other thing that we see is that oftentimes players having cards reduced in their hand for long periods of time.
I might get COVID. Rip.
Graphing of Caustic Rift flow.
If you die, I call dips
Might have 0
on your
mana
stuff.
disintegrate that you don't know about, and then they spend all their mana and they play the disintegrate, and you're like, oh, I didn't really expect that. And that's something that really we want to be careful of, because that just leads to some really feel bad scenarios where you couldn't play around something. So yeah, we're just
Give me the annoying one. Oh, I want the annoying one specifically, just to donate him out.
hitting regional tools. We still want PZ to be good at dealing AoE.
The annoying one is exactly what I want.
But in the new standard environment, I just think that both of these could use a bit of a hit.
I feel like
Drum Solo got
I'm glad
butchered.
you mentioned
This
it.
is
When I'm playing,
Uh,
sometimes like if someone will drum solo and then they'll have like a reduced cost like Mystic Shot. in their
Oh,
hand,
yeah, she knows.
I'm like, oh, there's no way they have removal.
Yeah, you're
And
safe.
then I die,
She's in
and
chat,
I
she
get
knows.
So pissed off, where I'm like, oh, like why was that the one card that you reduced the cost on? So I appreciate that. Okay, let's.
Drum solo now is just like draw one.
All right, Steve, you want to talk about this? This is
Wait,
kind
or
of
was it
interesting.
reduce the cost
Actually
by
the
one?
exact same philosophy.
I didn't
It's
see. Shit, I put it
essentially,
focus.
Ambitious Cultist is now going to be a this round zero cost only, which essentially means when you play Ambitious Cultist, you'll get a 0 mana new spell. Sorry, if you've equipped something, you get a 0 mana new spell. And then if you play that spell, it'll cost 0, but at the end of the round, it'll go back to 2. Very similar to the philosophy for the
Yeah, you have the
drum
best
solo.
card in the
We
game.
just really don't love having players sit around with 0 mana cards to blow each other out, especially when
Fair.
this
Fine.
spell could be from any
Fair.
region, so you could just get something ridiculous to happen to you.
Is
But yeah,
Drum solo
even
reduce the
without
cost by
here,
one, draw
just
one?
making
Or
it a
what?
bit
I didn't.
less of a gotcha,
I wasn't
a bit less
focusing.
of a,
I was talking
I can
chat.
sit around and react and blow my opponent out for the rest of the game.
Cool. This next change is one where when I read about this, I was like, wait, I didn't even think of it. I was like, man, I
Oh,
wish I could use
no.
this a little bit.
No longer makes a band with Scout. Oh, okay, rip.
Yeah, for sure. So let me explain the change first, because it is, I guess, one of the more nuanced ones. So right now, if you use Opulence Foyer and you
Welp.
gain an attack
Welp,
token, either
sheep.
through a second
They just
like
massacred
rally,
Gwen
you get
Quinn.
an additional Ghastly Band.
The deck is dead.
So we're changing it so when you
Deck's
play the
dead.
Opulent Foyer, you're still always going to
Deck
get that
is
Ghastly
just.
Band, regardless of having the
Oh
attack.
no.
But
Okay, you
now,
know what?
to
Fine.
get the additional Ghastly Bands, that's only going to happen at round start if you have the attack token. Which means if you rally or attack with Scout unit and you're refreshing an attack token,
Well,
since it's not round start, you're not
they
gonna get that Ghastly Band.
massacred my
I'm
girl.
making this change because, you know, pretty much since this card has come around, people have been
Oh yeah.
Oh my
leaning
god.
super hard into that synergy along with
I'm
the
just, like,
other
sitting here
general
reading.
things that you get to do with
Oh
Scout
no,
Rally.
why?
We definitely
Gwen Quinn did nothing
it's not
wrong.
a
Okay,
favor
Gwen
change
Quinn
to, like,
did
have
a
to take
lot.
away a synergy like that, but we're pretty
But
confident that
why?
you could still even like play this card and still succeed. And if that ends up not being the case and those like rally scout decks are really struggling without the synergy, I think we would definitely come back and look at it.
Okay, good.
Now this just feels like something we definitely want to do. Just
Okay, good. I'm fine. Okay, sure. You know what? Fine.
People
Fine.
are asking, does
Fine.
it still work with Garen level 2?
Yeah.
So
work with Garen level 2.
it
Okay,
won't,
let's see.
because when you rally at your round start, it no longer. Sorry, I'm reading text. If you have the attack token, summon the
You have that
creature.
attack token. You have that attack token with Garen level 2?
Actually, okay.
It works.
So how I believe it'll work is
Ruben, you're the game designer. How I believe.
to the
Ruben,
right.
it's your job to know.
I think you will.
I'm joking, we love you.
I would have to double check that though.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah, sorry,
token.
that was such a trick question. To just throw there. I was like, oh my god, we have rules tests. I didn't sign up for this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I
Okay,
know
good.
I've seen people talk about, I think Aurelia and Garen work a specific way, and I think this is probably going to work in a similar way, and I do not know what that is offhand. I would have to check.
Yeah, and landmarks can't be rearranged, so
Yeah.
usually you'll be.
They always go
able to get Garen
first.
on the right, I believe.
Wait.
Dang. Okay.
Even if you play the foyer afterwards.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another gift,
that always goes to the
have
left.
Garen, and then it'll be on the right.
I always, whenever I do these balance like live streams, I always learn something, and then I get much better on ladder for a few days.
That reverts
this
back,
one's
we
pretty
know.
Interesting.
We know,
I haven't
Jules.
gotten the patch notes. It's prank adjustment.
Prank
Steve, can you talk about what's changing about prank?
Yeah, so
Remove
I wanna talk
-2
quickly,
attack.
A philosophy around pranks. I think for a long time, pranks weren't working in the way that we, not necessarily not working the way they wanted to, but a lot of the power of pranks was skewed in the +2 cost. And we often found
Is it
really frustrating
good?
situations when you get a landmark or a unit +2 cost.
Is
that
it
felt
good?
Really, really bad, right? It felt like, oh, you're
Does
taking
it
away somebody's play
works?
on curve. Where at least for spells, you can bank mana, right? And that got us thinking, well, how can we improve pranks? Because a lot of the times when you're playing pranks, your goal is to just prank tons of spells, right? And we're like, well, what if we made the unit debuffs a bit better? So that kind of led us to thinking, well, the -2 attack debuff on prank is actually something that is rarely selected, rarely used.
That's
Let's
not
remove
useful.
that from the pool. So you'll no longer be able to hit that anymore.
Vulnerable is amazing
Adjusting
though.
the cost on units, landmarks, and equipment. So anything that's not a spell won't be able to get +2 cost. It'll only be able to get +1 cost. and then we buffed the vulnerable debuff to be -2, -0, and vulnerable. So instead of that -2 attack, you get both that and vulnerable. And then the last prank, of course,
That's
for units is flip one
good.
that makes units can't block. And this just played really well in our testing. I don't know if we expect this to be something that is meta right away, but this is the kind of change that Standard actually helped us make. Now that Curious Shellfolk is rotated, that gives us some space to make new prank
Okay, that's
cards, or even buff pranks without
Fair,
doing
fair,
anything too
fair.
gross. Since
I like it.
usually,
That's
Shellfolk
good.
is kind of the card
It's
that
okay.
prevents us from doing something like this. So when you're playing with pranks now,
Red Bozo,
you're
Red
just gonna
Bozo
have
indeed.
You're gonna have a lot more interesting options, especially when you hit units, because it's not always gonna be feast or famine. I hit +2 cost or not. You're gonna have a bit better unit debuffs like giving vulnerable, and this actually plays kind of well in aggressive decks because the -2, -0 on
Goodbye,
vulnerable,
Branks.
or
No,
Gamble
Branks are good
pranks
now.
are something
What you're
that
saying?
more aggressive Vandal City decks can
Oh yeah, I
use.
got a new monitor.
But yeah, that's
Finally.
where we're at here. We're calling this more of an adjustment because obviously now
Finally.
you can't
I can finally stream. I haven't streamed in
but
so
that was
long.
really a functionality we don't want for pranks in the long
I'm
term.
just
So
chilling
really
for
happy
now,
to
and then
see
I'll
the
play,
roles change. Whether or not it
I'm out
has
of
meta
tea.
impact, I think from the design side.
And then I'll play Mage Seeker.
Cool. And with that, we get into buffs. So Frank, do you want to
Targon, you.
some of these buffs coming to Targon?
Yeah, for sure.
Plus Elusive.
Standard, we know that Targon is definitely a region
Minus
that maybe
Minecraft.
got like hit pretty hard, and we're kind of just looking for ways to shore that
Nightfall.
up
Given a
with
light Elusive this round.
wider
Wait, is
region
it this
level.
round? It is
The
this round.
first place that we're looking is
It is.
Nightfall.
Wait. So
Nightfall lost a lot of its kind of ending tools to some of
Here we
the
go.
region adjustments that happen in
Much
Shadow
better.
Isles. You know, you no longer have like Stygian on.
now we can actually see.
Unto Dusk to,
I'm
like,
so
trigger
stupid.
those cards. So we're looking to put some more specifically like game-ending potential into some of these Targon options. So to do that, we took Cygnus the Moonstalker, took one cost off. It used to give Elusive to itself and another ally for the round. Now, it
Now
just
he has
uses
Elusive
himself
as a
base
base.
Elusive, but he still gives
Which
Elusive
is good.
for one round, and he's losing 2 power. So kind of an adjustment overall, but mostly just trying to bring him down in the curve, make him a better threat on his own. Similar thing with Cloven Way, one cost off the top, losing some stats in exchange, and
Stun twice.
just hopeful that this combination of Elusive and Overwhelm, like earlier and more like reliably on the curve, will give Nightfall decks a better way to close out games that they're really lacking right now.
Cool. All right, let's keep the buff train going. Frank, you want to talk about this one too?
Sure. So this buff I like a lot because this actually came from
Wait,
an idea
invoke.
that I had and an idea
Nightfall,
that
reduce the
that
gas cost by
we just, like,
1.
mashed them together into one buff, and as you can
Moondreamer,
see,
Nightfall.
we're just slapping Nightfall onto Moondreamer. And the Nightfall reward for our Moondreamer is going to be reducing the cost of the card that you
She is a
invoke by
5 cost
so this is
card.
less a Nightfall buff, I would say. Like this
But
may
you
give Nightfall
invoke.
decks the option to instead of like trying to close the game out, maybe they want to go a little bit longer and go more value. But we're
Yeah,
hopeful that
okay,
this will
that's
just be like a Targon buff in general because Targon like really wants to be doing this like.
Targon
big
really wants to
skill
be a
value
freaking
thing, and
region.
Moondreamer having this
Targon
buff
doesn't
actually
exist
gives them a better chance of
outside of like what?
This is very popular with people. People are
Leona.
liking this quite a bit. We have other various questions too. People want to know about coins, but we can talk about it at the
Coin.
end. Let's keep
At
the
the
buff
end.
train going.
Yep, and then last up, as just a general Targon buff, Targonian Tellstones, I think, has kind of been one of the runs
Yeah.
of the Tellstone litters for a long time. So
Behold
kind of went
Infinite.
in there, and you know, a lot of Tellstones try to use maybe
Hush.
more, like niche or like lower played cards to make like a cute little package. But
Oh.
with Targonian Tellstones, we decided that we wanted to lean this one into Targon's
And
strength.
blessing.
So we replaced Wish and Paddlestar with Behold the Infinite and Hush. So now you know you have an
Shit.
Invoker, a Silence, and
here we go.
a big Grant buff, which are just like kind of the 3 bread and butter things of Targon. And this,
That
you know,
Yeah.
you're willing
is
to pay that
actually
for
good.
the versatility. Targonian Tellstone.
That's actually
is a little
good.
bit of all 3.
Yeah,
Hello.
I like this one a lot, especially because I think
Rockdax, how you
one thing
doing?
we've seen is that Hush, which originally was just a huge.
Are you happy to see Samira not get nerfed?
Burst way that Targon can interact with
They hit
the
Fizz, but like I'm
but
still
with
waiting for a
Fizz,
Samira nerf.
and over
They will say it
time,
now,
you've
right?
seen it kind of languish a bit in terms of a card that you can main.
Yeah,
deck.
that change is crazy. Yeah.
So that's kind of what Tellstones are for. Hey, we
She's
got
still
Hush
powerful.
in the Tellstones, so if you want flexibility, you can kind of still have.
Targonian
that without
Tillstones,
too much
getting this buff is huge. This is a huge buff.
All right, that
Well, it's a rework
Starting
at this
on
point.
buffs,
But
let's go to the Ascended. All right, you want to speak to this, Steve?
Sure. So
No.
we are reducing Azir's quest by 1. Pretty small here, but
It-
you know,
it-
in the new standard environment.
from
we
13
wanna
to
make sure that
12,
you can
wow.
play Azir in
Much-
strategies, whether they're
much
cooking
buff.
strategies or more traditional Sun Disc stuff. We want to make
Much
sure that
buff.
in those decks, Azir
Huge
can level
buff.
up, more on time. And then for Nasus, we're just giving Nasus +1/+1 on both levels. Feels like Nasus for a long time has not really been that easy to crank up his slay count. Now with just less options in standard.
also,
I think
that's also
um,
not that
you know,
impactful.
he can use the +1/+1 just to help him level up more often.
I'm saying it.
Also
This
to
doesn't
sort of
matter.
Potentially patch together ascended decks, just making sure that that deck doesn't
No.
completely become
Don't-
unviable
don't-
with
don't-
things like Seraph moving out.
Don't
So
bring
yeah,
back
we're
the
gonna
movie.
give some small
Don't
buffs here,
mother
since we
flipping
feel like
bring
these
back the
cards are
movie.
now
I swear to
just
God.
not necessarily up to
If
snuff
you-
with the power level
Ruben,
of other champions in
Ruben,
Standard. So giving
You
some small buffs
no,
here
no
should-
movie.
Put that dog in him.
Ruben,
Absolute woofer.
Next is Glory's Call.
Yeah, so Glory's Call
What are
similarly,
those?
we're just
What is this
we try
card?
a
I've never
lot
seen
of
it
different
before.
permutations
I
here,
cost
like
2 less for each different ascended ally of played this game. Manifest
stuff
a co-
resulted in stuff that was really strong in like Eternal, which we don't really want to affect Eternal too much with our standard.
There is a reason I don't know this
So we
card.
ended up with a pretty modest
Card's
just
shit.
-1 cost here. Maybe this lets you play some Ascended. And honestly, I had not really played this card, and playtesting this card, I realized how strong it is, because the Emperor's deck is just quite strong. So I had a fun time with it in testing. Yeah, we really wanted to get a change here just so that you could play it in more standard decks.
People are saying, "Oh no, Jason."
I'm not even gonna
Six
talk.
costs anymore."
The community's favorite meme.
Oh man, we love it. Okay, let's talk about Shadow Isles. What's going on here, Frank?
Yeah, so with rotation, Shadow Isles kind of saw like a big redefining of its removal tools, you know, just like lost things like Vile Feast, and Soul Harvest was a card that we were kind of looking to step in and fill those shoes as just like a Shadow Isles regional removal tool. And it hasn't really been hitting that beat as well as we wanted. So what we're doing, small buff that we're hopeful will go a decent way, is just lowering the cost to target a champion from 4 to 3. And I think this makes a lot of sense, especially in the world when like the champions you're trying to potentially target are like Fizz because you're insane, or like Samira,
Wait, what?
and you're like afraid of like an all out or something.
-1
just,
cost
like,
for
with the
champs.
potential to get like blown out and
Kill
have
a follower
spell
with
damage
3 less
so
or
high,
spend
it's just,
3
like, you
mana.
have to pay for that. So we're hoping
It's
with
2/3,
that,
okay.
Down to 3, it'll just give more opportunity to put this cards into more decks and like feel good about picking the champion kill option.
Cool. All right, cool. Let's get into some of the variety buffs that we've been cooking up. We'll talk about this one, Steve.
I don't know if there's anything to talk about. Gathering is getting +4/+4 now. So anybody
Oh
looking
no.
to play some big dragon decks will have a huge
Are-
boost. I mean,
Dragons.
generally you find that cards at this mana slot need to do something absolutely crazy to
Yeah,
really
+4/+4
be
is crazy.
viable.
That's fair.
So we're not necessarily shooting for viability. We're just shooting for doing something pretty sweet. And yeah,
Shyvana
that's all I
Aesol.
got for it.
That sounds fun. I like it.
This is the kind of thing where
I
like,
can
you
go
look
for
to
it.
make hydrogen cheaper and have a
Right.
smaller
No.
buff, but that kind of goes against like what the giant cool dragons
That's-
is. So we're really just saying like if
Big
you want
dragon.
to pay 9 mana and slap this bad boy into play. you're
No,
gonna
I will not make you a mod. I
It's
don't
actually
trust
a
you.
good
You're an
point,
idiot.
because I think like oftentimes the easiest way to buff something is by mana cost, right?
He's my
Because
friend
it's
in
gonna
real
make it
life,
more
so like,
viable,
I
but
get to
I
say
think
this shit.
generally
He's an idiot.
baseline cards in lore are so strong that like most cards that get a mana cost buff will like almost immediately potentially be meta, and we try to use that not necessarily as a last resort, but it's not the first thing we try to do when we try to buff a card.
All
No.
right, let's look at the other buffs we're cooking.
Yeah, this is a
Go
buff that I like a
for
lot. So basically, it's saying
heal 4
now
to me
when
and
you
you're
pull a champion with Priestess of Desert Light, it's going to grant that champion +2/+2. It'll do that whether you're just playing Priestess without 6 unique champions or with 6 unique champions. And basically the goal here is Priestess is a card that asks you to do
Your
a
deck
lot
started
of
with
work,
6
like
plus
getting
different
six
champions.
getting the Priestess
Summon
down,
it
getting
instead.
survive, and there's also like a lot of variance in that.
Okay, that's
especially
gonna
when, you know,
be
if
fun.
you put 6 unique And now with Priestess, when you
Wait,
pull
no,
in
this wouldn't
lower
work.
cost champions, hopefully this buff will make you feel like a little bit better about that, even if you didn't, high roll pull your Irrelevant Soul.
I'm trying to think about how
So
to use
just
this.
looking to more consistently reward.
Yeah, I
you
can't think of
when you
anything.
Pull off the Priestess hoop.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Alright. Want to talk about this one, Steve?
Yeah, this is kind of more of a quality of life change than really a targeted buff, I would say.
Target any
Essentially, your
ally.
image has the condition that you have to target a 5+ ally. We're
That's
just
fair.
allowing that to target any ally. And the reasoning is really
We already nerfed
see
the Ashe
in these Ashe decks,
and
really trying to target
Reckoning
rally
bars of this
or-
deck, so
or-
it's good.
or Assessor
Like,
or
we're
something
fine.
that's been buffed up. And we think that this is just going to open deck building for LeBlanc because you'll be able to just pull off some crazy combos now, which is something we haven't really seen with her. So we think that this is just an exciting change that won't have that big of an impact on the current meta decks that play LeBlanc.
Yeah, I want to. So some people in chat are very worried. They're like, Ashe LeBlanc is so strong.
Yeah.
Why are you buffing?
We already nerfed Ashe
So, with the adjustment to Ashe and like.
and Reckoning.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I think one of our goals on lore is just for champions' gameplay dreams to be realizable, right? And one thing that
Well,
LeBlanc
give me back Ezreal. I want to realize my dream.
And the fact that it was sort of
Where's Ezreal?
strung to like a more reputation style deck really hurt her ability to do some crazy
Where's Ezreal?
combos.
Yeah, we want to realize the champion design dreams.
Honestly, regardless of
Fuck you. Fuck you too, bitch.
we think that the champion's gameplay dream being realized.
You come to my chat. You trash talk me like that.
Technically,
I'll kick your ass when I meet you next time.
Essentially, the existing deck because you could do something like mirror image a Trifarian Assessor that has 4 attack now that you couldn't do before.
Oh god, I'm
Overall,
so
though,
freaking
with the
thick.
nerfs to Reckoning and Ashe,
I'm
we
so
really think
thick.
this is,
I'm so sick.
it's not a good trade deal for that deck. Let's put it that way.
Do you think that it would open like opportunity for maybe LeBlanc to find a spot in a different deck too?
That's the hope, but it's good that you said opportunity too, because we don't necessarily think that this will make a new meta deck. But like
No.
somebody might experiment with it, right? Like I don't even really know. Like what can you do with this now? Like you can target Evna, that's pretty sick. I don't know exactly, if that's a deck, but
I'm high
excited
gala
to try
smartish.
it out.
Yeah. Cool. All right, you want to talk about this one, Frank?
Yeah, definitely. So this is actually a
Phantom
small
Gunners.
redesign we did. So for people not familiar with the Gunners, it used to just be an expensive unit that when you summoned it, if you went through the hoop of, I believe, 4 multi-region allies,
I cost 1 less for each multi-region ally you have summoned this game. When I'm summoned, grant me impact 3 times.
Effect, it just didn't really fit with the multi-region kind of
Oh.
wide spam, low to the ground thing.
Okay.
So we've redesigned
She's
it
back.
to use the spell shield,
She's back,
same
she's
as
back,
the
she's
deck,
back.
Now the cost just scales down 1 for each multi-region
Tristana's back.
you summon.
Tristana Noxus is back. Let's go. Tristana is back, baby.
And this is a change we've like had kind of in the back pocket for a while. We
Tristana
like
is
Atrocity were kind of popping
back.
off, but now post rotation in the standard
Wait, is
start,
Tristana's not.
struggling again a little bit, and we feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Bandit
She Tristana is
deck a new angle to shine.
back.
A lot of people, I like this new community nickname. They've named it.
Oh, okay, just show in the chat.
Which I think that's
That's a
gonna
good
stick.
name.
That's good.
I wish I was smart enough to
Uh,
have put that on the
Phantom
side.
Gunners has Spell Shield and 5 HP and 3 impact. This is good. Wednesday.
10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So in 2 days.
Let's move on to the next
We got 2 days.
Yeah, so Advanced Intel has been a card that has been historically kind of, unfortunately, a throwaway card.
Because we don't.
What we're doing to
Why
it
would you
is
use
we're
it?
letting it draw a card, but making it cost 1 more. Essentially, we think that flash bombs are kind of now with flash bomb peddler. We actually see like people playing flash bomb control a bit more, but still, there's some of the cards in the flash bomb package are almost like Advanced Intel.
That's
is
are bad.
essentially kind of an unusable card that I don't.
That's
think
are bad
anybody
cards.
Seriously, main decked.
Why would you do
without
this?
Any sort of like maybe card generation they've created it. So we just want to give flash bombs one more way of just sort of get those flash bombs rolling, as well as
Also,
the
he's
card
stupid, he didn't
Drum
know.
Solo, so giving PZ a
I
little
told
bit
him
of
in DMs.
drawback potentially in those flash bomb trap decks.
Someone in chat asked, and I also asked you this too.
Yeah.
It is you draw yourself, right? The opponent doesn't draw.
Yep,
Not
just
fishing
you.
for their- Okay, cool. And next, the Deathless Knight.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a super cool card. Has a lot of like exciting synergy moments to it. We're just
Okay,
bringing the
so
cost down by 1 to hopefully
what do
give
we know
people
now?
who are interested,
Samira Varus
to
didn't get
pop
touched
off
at
with
all.
Deathless Knight a little
Good.
more opportunity to
Tristana
use
is back on the menu.
to this one's
Great.
event.
What else?
Cool. And then our last buff of the day, Steve.
Yeah, the retired Reckoner potentially picking his gloves back up. Just getting additional attack here. Pretty simple change, though. We actually looked at a bunch of changes to actually the release that I worked on way back, the champion expansion of Akshan and Viego with some of the like Noxus self-targeting Reckoners. We just landed on thinking that retired Reckoner specifically felt like just a little bit too understated to see play, but we think it's a fun card to build around. So giving that
Retired Reckoner sounds good. Okay, you know what? I'm writing.
And if
I'm
not,
writing.
Maybe it's just more of a viable option.
I'm doing the thing.
Cool. I've seen a few comments of people are like, oh, these are cards that I don't really see a lot. So
well, that's kind of the cards we target with the sort of like variety stat buffs.
Vandal Gunners.
Because they're cards that just aren't
What's the last card? There was one more card that I wanted to try.
Yeah. Because like, you know,
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
much
Samira.
like all the lower cards have a lot of like love and care put into them, and maybe they'll have some like cool animations or
Here we go,
art or
here we go,
voice
here we
lines,
go.
and, like if they're just sitting there and no one's using them, those are definitely cards we look to see if
We
can
got
get
the list.
people excited to just like.
We
try
wrote
again
down the list of what we
and
want to
sticking
use.
in the metagame.
It's really good.
I think it's interesting too because like once something's out in the wild, like I know when Inferno was released, people were like
Yeah.
sleeping on Inferno.
There is Samira buff
So I'm
Smudge.
always, you
That's
know, like,
actually why this card can slot into Vera Samira.
affect the meta, and then sometimes something that I didn't
Mo is popping off here.
might have been sleeping on it for a day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If even a day.
Napping on it.
Yeah.
So there were two questions. I'm gonna go back to the main page that I saw in chat that I want to ask you guys. Also, chat. That is it for our changes. We are going to be putting out an infographic.
No 3 card. No 3 cost.
to show buffs and nerfs.
Samira.
Passionate
Wow.
come out tomorrow.
Wow.
Please enter into
That's-
chat questions. Yeah, I'm gonna ask the coin question. I'm
know
gonna
what?
Ask another one too about Cossack Rift. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of people, myself included, have gone
Mm-hmm.
against Karma set and just like Karma coming down, turn 10,
Yeah.
having a doubling coin, infinite draw, like
Here we go.
what is like your guys' stance on I guess coin and Karma doubling coin? Is that kind of like part of her fantasy? Is that why you guys are just an HP rather than coin interaction? If you can just like Steve, do you wanna
I mean, I think this is how they intended
I
it.
think that in terms of the coin deck itself, the Karma set, we honestly consider it a fairly healthy deck. Like it usually has a pretty good win rate. It's got a
Did you
decent play rate.
intend it?
Obviously, there is a lot of players that
That's that
enjoy
question
some combo
here.
play style. I think that usually what's
Healthy.
important to us is like the severity.
Just play aggro, you'll win.
We really think about like what turn it can happen, right? Karma set is a deck that really doesn't start popping off until round 10, and you can really attack them before that round.
Win before 10. Yes, nerf
Generally,
combo.
Karma is a kind
No,
of
don't.
card that has historically been
Win
sort of
before
like
turn
for
10.
players where it's like, oh, once they get to round 10,
5 head.
Karma active. The one thing that I will say though is that a leveled up Karma has never really before been as potent as it is now. I think specifically just Karma plus place your bets kind of is just
Yeah.
GG like on its own.
Yeah, that's
assuming,
just
like, you
like-
have sets in your deck as well.
Yeah.
To
Mhm.
come out and play the set, which I think is something that we might want to look at in the future because it's kind of like a 2-card combo. Usually combos we think about like in lore, especially
3-4.
when we get a bunch of cards together, right? When that's happening on round 10, we're usually allow players to be pretty flexible with it because they have 9 or 10 rounds in the game to end the game before that point. Obviously, the deck is pretty good defensively, right? We have changed things like Caustic Rift to hopefully make it a little bit less good defensively. But yeah, in general, like Karma is the kind of card that is honestly doing a lot of strong things, but it really only does that on round 10, which is almost past the point where the average lore game usually ends, which is why we generally think it's pretty healthy. In terms of the Karma coin interaction, it is something
Is it
that incredibly
intended?
strong, like just creating a ton of mana and taking a ton of
Ruben,
action
did you intend it?
is really just kind of frustrating to play against because it's like, oh, my opponent just gets to do 10 things and I get to do none. And I think that if we did change something, we would look at specifically making something about that less explosive. Because I think
Fine.
personally, like I've played against tons of Karmas in the past where, in the past, players have tried to like go.
I want to
karma,
bitch, but dude, it's
it
making
almost doesn't really
sense.
work 'cause you shuffle
I want to be
Booyah
like,
into your deck,
oh, you're not right,
and
but
you
like,
can sort of like
it's Rubin. He knows what he's
you can
doing.
kill the karma usually, but yeah, I think specifically karma set is like no, just karma plus place your bets. So I think what I'd say is that I don't think that place your bets plus karma set is necessarily, or sorry, place your bets plus karma 2 is necessarily the most healthy pattern, but because it happens at such a late stage in the game, we didn't feel the need to make any changes. Plus, the fact that
just
win
play
rate wasn't
aggro.
something that was really cracking the radar of something that needed changes. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Frank. I'm sure that I missed stuff.
Yeah, I would just add in that. So when we were working on coins in development, I was on the game analysis team at the time. So I was really the big focus of that team was like balance and play against frustration. And we kind of knew, like working with the designers on the set, that like a mana cheating mechanic is definitely like you're putting some spice in the pot with that one. And we were, we tried various things like in dev, like we had the coin of focus at one point, and it just like wasn't feeling great. And we
wasn't
were
good.
like, combo players don't get catered to super often in Legends of Runeterra, like more of like the big karma combos, and so we really wanted this mechanic to potentially serve those players. So we're definitely happy that it is doing that and that the win rate isn't like insane. But there is also that balance of like, obviously the combo players is having a ton of fun, but maybe even if it is like balanced, it could be still
You get a
frustrating to play
point.
against. We are hoping
Yes.
that these nerfs that we did will alleviate some of that frustration. But if that continues to not be the case, it is definitely something that we would look at again. So,
Wait,
we are,
what did Mo
happy
say?
and excited with the ways
What
that
did Mo
we're
say?
using coins, but we're gonna keep a strict eye on making sure that it's not like going over the
What
top.
did Mo say?
Yeah, and one of the other things that actually what Frank mentioned that I wanted to like add is that
Buddy Karma
sometimes
all
with
last
things
open,
like
did you not
coin,
learn?
it's
Oh
actually
yeah.
not that simple because there are so many cards that make coins.
It
right?
did not.
And if we
It
did
didn't
something
do
like make
well
the coin
last open.
copies only make one mana. Right now, the only decks that
Same
coins
with
are
Leona
playing with, I
Samira.
believe,
It
are,
it,
like,
it
Jack
really suffered
Seraphine,
that's open.
that
I
copies
suffered
the coin
with it
Seraphine
in
and Karma set usually.
open.
That
myself.
copies the coin with Karma. We could potentially just delete like 20 cards on accident if we went too far, which is why we just prefer to do the changes that we did and just see how the meta is going to play out.
Cool. Yeah. I think that's one of the things too. Like, it's really interesting being like a community manager, like playing the game a lot, like watching everybody's streams and hearing everybody's takes, but also having like direct access to you guys. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways is that like y'all are literally always keeping an eye on what is happening and whether adjustments need to be made.
No 3-cost Samira though.
Consider too is like,
Where is my 3-cost Samira? Huh? Where? Where is she?
Our shape that we really love
Where is she?
isn't the strongest right now, but
Where?
I feel like everything kind of like it's day
Dios
in the
mío.
sun, so to speak. Not to make a daybreak reference, but okay. The other question I had, this is kind of like a deep cut, and I only saw like one person mention this, but so the Caustic Rift change happened, but I think one of like the scariest things that happens is when BB comes online with Caustic Rift. Is that like a playstyle that is like, do you want to kind of reward that combo of like, okay,
Okay, listen, don't you dare
and like this is
talk about BB like that.
Or is that something?
What's Mo
that's
saying
such an
now?
edge case that it doesn't really.
Deep, Samira Ferris, Atrox Vane, Samira Leona. Multiple dicks. If you don't do this dicks, I'm sorry,
So
but it's
basically,
more than
if
if you.
from my
Or I have a
perspective,
deck.
if you're like combining two regions like that and going for a very specific card combo, and you like put in all the work, like I think.
Wait, Mo's
rewarding
fighting
that
someone.
way makes sense to me, especially because with BB, you do have that keg sitting there, and the opponent does have the opportunity to be like, okay, if I can break this keg or like time my spells correctly, the rift isn't going to do as much.
Chat is flaming Mo. How?
Specifically, that
Don't.
interaction can continue to
Maybe do. I don't know.
To me, that sounds like more potentially.
I mean, Mo is awesome.
pains
We
me to
don't
say
like.
this, more BB-ish.
GG Mac, what's Matt saying? He bullied me on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that like BB Caustic Rift, you're starting off with like,
Oh,
that's a
that's
combination
smart.
of
Yes.
two regions, right? You're basically locking yourself into those regions, and I think specifically, at least our changes will make it so that it is harder to get that combo off than ever before, especially because BB is usually pretty vulnerable to removal, like single combat or something like a tag out, or even something like a hex splitterator. Like there are a lot of ways that you can remove BB. Obviously, you can burst speed, make a bunch of barrels, and then Caustic Rift, which is like a really smart play. But then if you do that, then you can kill the
You
barrel.
can't play BB.
So I do think that
Oh,
generally
yeah.
it's a pretty healthy play pattern of like I am trying to stack barrels. I think where BB actually gets kind of more unhealthy is when we're going with like burst speed damage. When you're going for like
Like
a
the
bit like
warning shot.
Seraphine with Sputtering Song Spinner, and then you go for like a warning shot.
Which is the
for, like,
best
damage. I actually think
combo,
that is
mind
where
you.
I think we run into more issues.
The
because
best
you can't deal with
combo.
the barrel or the BB. You basically don't have any options.
I need to play that deck.
But okay, thank you for.
Man, I haven't played
How's-
Legends of Runeterra in so long. I need to shake off the rust. I will shake off the rust.
Ask general, like, what your guys' take on like aggro in the state that it's in? Like, do you think that there's like strong aggro options?
Bring back
or
Decimate.
Are there like things that you're keeping an eye
I
on?
miss her.
Just like the archetype.
I mean,
Give me back
generally,
Decimate,
we
you
always see
cowards.
strong aggro though we did nerf some of the Leona stuff in this patch. I do think it really sometimes is a categorization thing. Like, what do you consider aggro? I think
It varies from
so I'm
person to
think
person.
I don't have like the meta deck list off the top of my head, but I do think that Samira Leona is like the very clear aggro player and was like
Yes.
almost statistically one of the best decks, at least a few,
For the last
the last
week and a
month.
half.
So I think that generally
Was the best deck.
aggro is in a relatively
Was
strong state.
amongst the
I
top
do think that
4
some
for
of
the
these
best.
Noxus kind of fundamentally changed how
Month,
aggro
yes.
works because you just don't have rearguard and decimate anymore, which really makes
Rest
it
in
harder
peace.
for decks like Annie Jin, like really pure burn style decks that I think players will all consider aggro, not necessarily as powerful as they used to be. So that's something we can definitely look at moving forward.
Cool.
Yeah, I would definitely say that to me right now it seems like aggro is skewing. Maybe
got
like
the new
slightly
aggro.
more mid-range, which makes a little more sense.
Snatch.
with The rotation cuts.
I'm just here
or, like,
being
maybe
sad.
doing more like combo-y Samira things.
I
where
miss
it's
my
like
cards.
popping up a lot of like aggressive strategies.
I do
and
be missing my
always
stuff.
want it to be like, oh, you have to go to Noxus or you have to go to Samira to play aggro. So, well, I think like aggro as a whole is in like a fine state.
Hear
I would
me
definitely
out,
wanna,
though.
like, like, with, like, the night
Hear me
decks,
out.
where it's, like, hopefully we can get
Tristana
like, different
Bender Gunners
players to,
aggro.
like, have more representation in the metagame.
I want you to be hearing me out.
To make, because I think some people
New
probably
Bender Gunners would be
like
insane in Tristana aggro.
Like, this is the type of aggro that I'm used to seeing. Okay, cool.
With,
so
what's
I'm
it called?
actually gonna answer. There's a question about starter deck reworks, and I'll answer that, and that'll be our last
Oh, yeah, that
question for today. If you guys have more questions,
They will
feel free to
rework
post
starter
on
decks to
Reddit,
be
hit us up
more
on Twitter,
normal.
we will
Because
answer.
they are
So,
still for eternal.
We have information coming out in the patch notes tomorrow, but we are going to be offering some in patch 4.5. not the
Varus,
patch,
yeah,
we're gonna be
Varus
offering,
did not get hit.
7 free
Varus
decks
Samira
for
got
the
too
starter deck
strong
to redeem. We've been
after
really trying to get them into
after the patch notes
sections.
were worked
We've
on.
run into a lot of interesting
Yeah, Varus Samira.
scenarios
It's
with,
gonna be a
the
Varus
people
Samira meta.
surrounding that. So
That's
we
gonna be
are
fun.
Get something out, and yeah, just as like we recognize that, we totally agree with y'all. Like, we want a really good onboarding experience. So in 4.5, like, I'm gonna mention this in the patch notes too. Keep your eyes out. Go redeem these free decks, and get your friends to play. Tell them that in the next patch, there's gonna be a really nice. They're all gonna be standard legal. by the
I'm
way.
gonna bribe my wife to play
Yeah,
in Legends of
they'll only be
Runeterra with me.
available until we can get the whole tutorial section all buttoned up and have those new decks into that tutorial section. It is, yeah.
Getting cards for doing the tutorial would be
So,
something
all right, y'all.
smart.
We are at time here.
I can get behind
Thank
it.
you so much. I know there's so many amazing questions, and we were only able to answer some of them. Like I said, reach out to us anytime. Y'all are absolutely awesome. I'm glad that you're here supporting us. Ruben, do you want to any closing remarks?
No, just thanks everybody for being
Where
here.
is my 3-cost Samira open?
Yeah,
Ruben,
yeah, thanks
you only give Samira one nerf.
Closing